Today on Merge, we head to Forest Grove, where rice is being brewed into delicious sake. From milling to bottling, we explore all the important steps in sake brewing. Then we head to the tasting room. I sample some sake and find out how to be a part of the club. Today at SakeOne. Watashi no namae wa Kirishibiru de Ichi Sake e Yokuso. And for those of you that don't speak Japanese, I said, hi, I'm Kelsey, and welcome to SakeOne. I'm gonna go inside the brewery, find out how sake is made, and try some delicious sake in the tasting room. So let's go see what SakeOne is all about. Hey everyone, I'm here with Dewey, the Vice President of Marketing for SakeOne. Dewey, what is SakeOne?
Well, SakeOne is first and foremost a brewer of premium sake, great sake, and we've been here brewing since '98, but we also import sake. So if you visit, you'll find some of our partners' sake in our tasting room as well. But first and foremost, we're a brewer of premium sake.
So where can we find SakeOne?
Well, you can find us physically in Forest Grove, Oregon, that is, in case someone gets lost. And you can find us at SakeOne.com on the web, and on that, you'll find all the information about us, about sake brewing, and details about our tasting room as well there.
You guys have a tasting room here?
We do. We have a tasting room where you can taste and learn and explore sake firsthand.
So we're gonna go taste some sake later?
Oh yeah, we'll taste probably a lot of sake if you can handle it.
Oh, I can. Okay, Dewey, I see a bunch of tanks. What's inside of these?
This is finished sake that is getting a little maturing going on, a little aging happening. It's going to balance out the flavor. So this is really the last stop in making sake before we bottle. But you probably want to see the whole process, how it's made, right?
Yes.
The whole thing. Should we take a look?
Yeah, let's go make some sake.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Okay, what is this large white bag over here?
Well, these bags are full of premium grade rice. This brought it from California. And these are going to come into the brewery. They'll rest here for a couple of days, and then they'll be fed into the big tanks over here that'll hold the rice that feeds into the mill, which is right behind us.
Is this the only mill here?
This is the only mill that we have here, yeah. And this is kind of unique for us. Most sake breweries don't do their own rice polishing. We do because it's a step in quality control. We can make sure that the rice is right when we're ready to brew with it.
So the rice goes into this mill and you polish it. And what's the importance of polishing the rice?
Well, polishing allows us to remove all the unwanted fats and proteins in the grain and get down to just pure starch, which is, in our case, we polished to 58%. At 60%, and that 60% remaining, that's what's called ginjo, and that's like a premium level of sake. If you think of like reserve level wines, same level for sake, and that just means that we've gotten rid of all these kind of flavors that aren't going to be good later.
And then it comes out looking like this.
It comes out looking like this, just rice ready to go.
So what's the next process after we polish the rice?
After we polish it, we're going to move it upstairs, and it'll be washed and steamed, and then we'll look at the koji room. So why don't we go up and take a look at those steps?
Let's go. Dewey, what's the next process in making sake?
Well, we just came from the milling room, so we polished the rice. We're going to bring it upstairs, we're going to wash it, get rid of the rice flour, then we're going to soak it, and then we're going to move it into the big kettle steamer. That's a lot like a tabletop rice steamer you might have at home, where it just kind of forces moisture into the rice grain.
But on a bigger scale.
On a much bigger scale.
I'm here in Forest Grove asking real people real questions. Jim, when did you move from Japan over to Oregon?
I'm not Japanese.
Then how'd you get a job here?
I used to be a Toji Club member, and I love the people here so much, and my other club members, that I wanted to work here.
Oh.
Don't go away. Merge will be right back.
Want to find out more about Merge? Then visit our website at pdxmerge.com.
And now back to Merge with Kelsey Beer.
Greg, you are the brewmaster here at SakeOne.
That's right. My background is really lab-based, so I'm very familiar with culturing living organisms. So from my perspective, brewing is culturing living organisms in a big, large setting.
Does it bug you when people say sake?
Yes.
What's the proper way to say sake?
Sake. There's a little thing over the E. I know it's difficult because it's Japanese converted into English. It's a tough thing, but it's sake.
Okay, Greg, we're here in your lab, kind of where the magic happens for sake.
One of my favorite places.
Do you spend a lot of time in here?
I spend a lot of time in here.
Okay, and what do you have here? These test tubes full of what?
The test tubes are full of yeast from Japan, so just like our machinery coming from Japan, the actual strains of yeast that we use are sake strains from Japan.
And then we've got this box here, and inside you have, this is mold?
Yes, this is mold spores, but again, from Japan, specifically designed for sake.
Do you drink a lot on the job?
No, but we do a lot of tasting on the job. So we're always having tasting panels to try and see what our best product is.
You spit it out after you
We spit it out, yes.
Really?
I might swallow a little bit.
Okay. Dewey, what's the next process in making sake?
Well, we just came from the milling room, so we polished the rice. We're going to bring it upstairs. We're going to wash it, get rid of the rice flour, and then we're going to soak it, and then we're going to move it into the big kettle steamer. That's a lot like a tabletop rice steamer you might have at home, where it just kind of forces moisture into the rice grain.
But on a bigger scale.
On a much bigger scale.
How much rice is actually in the steamer?
That's a lot. I'd have to, Greg, how much rice is that?
800 pounds.
Did you just make that up?
No, I work here.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Okay.
We let him think that. Yeah.
So then it's in the steamer, and then what?
Well, it's going to steam for about 45 minutes, and then we're going to tip the tank over, take it down onto a little conveyor belt that's going to help cool it off really fast, because this is about 95, 98 degrees. Cool it down, and then we're going to apply the koji mold spores across the rice. And we want to make sure it's cool enough so we don't kill the koji right away. So we'll apply those koji spores and then move it into the koji rooms. We're kind of in the middle of the koji making process at this point. This rice has been in here now since yesterday, so about 24 hours. It was inoculated with koji spores. So the mold spores, they're gonna turn that into, basically convert it into sugar for you. Okay. And it's going to, now they're gonna move it into the next room where it'll have another 24 hours laid out on a different table so this can all breathe. This is all condensed overnight, closed up nice and warm, and let the mold spores grow and turn it in. You can see on here, you can see how you've got nice little fuzzy, powdery looking growth on the outside of the rice. Now it's going to grow. You can taste it if you want. It's not going to quite taste right. Probably a little harder today.
Okay.
But when this is finished, this will be soft and sweet. It'll be like little puffed rice almost, just sweet and chewy and easy. And we'll taste some later.
Okay. So Dewey, there's this big lump of rice. Where does it go from here?
Well, it's going to get broken down on the table. The guy's going to break it up so it's not in big clumps. We're going to move it into a conveyor belt, this big rice moving thingy that we have, and that'll move that into the next room where it'll be dropped onto the table and raked out across the table. So it can grow and continue for another 24 hours.
This table's really deep, but how deep is the rice?
The rice will only get layered about 4 inches on there. Like us, it's alive and it needs oxygen to live and do its work for us in the process of converting the starch into sugars.
I feel like I'm not getting oxygen right now because it's so hot in here. How hot?
There's no oxygen.
No.
It's all hot. It is hot. It's about 95, 98 degrees, but it's also very humid in here. The humidity is cranked way up. So it's hot, it's humid, you're probably starting to drip and get sticky already just by being in the room. But that's perfect for growing a mold. So we're just creating an environment to grow this lovely mold that does all this work for us in making sake.
All right, boys, where are we off to next?
We're going to go into what's called the de-koji room. We've moved all the koji rice off the table. We're going to bring it in here to cool it down, and this is where you get to taste the mold.
I love molds.
Yeah.
Whoa! There's a lot of stuff in here.
So this is finished koji rice.
We just went from a 98-degree room to this freezer.
Yeah, it's cold. You need a jacket.
Yeah.
You should probably put this on because it's freezing in here.
Thanks.
And then you need to eat some
gentlemen.
mold. Yeah, see?
Do you need a jacket?
Can I have your jacket?
I need your jacket. That'd be great. And then, hey, you got a jacket. I need a jacket. Yeah, so then, cool. That'd be delicious. Now you have this one. All right, that's really good. Okay.
All right, let's taste
I got long sleeves, so I'm
Okay.
good. But you need to eat mold now.
Okay.
You've got to eat mold.
I thought mold was green.
No, go ahead and grab a little pinch of that. It's nice and fluffy and white, and now taste its growth stage.
Sweet and chewy.
Like cereal.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's the starch being broken down into glucose, and the glucose is what the yeast eat.
So I thought mold was green. Why is it this green?
Because we haven't let it go to the green stage. The green is where you're actually seeing mold spores on the outside of the rice. If we let it heat up, it would go green.
Have you ever come in here and seen it green?
Yes, that's not a good day. The koji strength is what's going to drive the capacity of the yeast to actually brew. So if you have very strong yeast but weak koji, your sake is not going to be very good. But you have very strong koji and average yeast, you're still going to get good sake because the koji food will help the yeast along. Strong koji makes good sake.
All right, well, let's go to the next step.
Let's go next door.
All right.
Don't go away. Merge will be right back.
At Terra Firma Foundation Systems, we see a lot of problems that can steal away the value of a home. Things like cracks in drywall, bowing basement walls, cracks in brick and foundation work, flooded basements that cause property damage and dangerous mold growth, and musty, energy-stealing crawl spaces. And we help fix them all. We help restore every home's value. If your home has any of these problems, call us today for a free, no-obligation inspection. Let us help protect your investment and your family.
And now back to Merge with Kelsey Beer.
Okay, guys, here, I'll give you your jacket back now.
Yeah, this one's mine.
Yeah, it's mine. It's like, you're still out of luck.
Okay, so what do we got in this big pot?
Now this one was built a week ago, and Greg can explain more of that. So this one's been brewing about a week, and you see all the gas bubbling away. So that was built a week ago, which means what?
What we're trying to do here is that we're trying to keep all the rice suspended while it's brewing to make even brewing. You can see all the little CO2 gas bubbles coming up. It's brewing. However, some of the rice actually settles to the bottom. So every once in a while, we actually need to mix that into the rest of the fermentation.
So this is the pole?
This is the pole.
What is this doing on the end
That's the business end of the fluffer.
The business end. I like that. Okay, so.
We're going to put it in. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom of the tank, so you can feel it there. And then we got to get the rice to come off the bottom and into the brewing liquid.
I can probably do this better.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Have you ever lost anything in here?
No.
How far down does this go?
You can feel the bottom right there. It's about 20 feet.
Whoa. Can I jump in there?
No, there's no oxygen. You would die.
Why does it smell so fruity and delicious in here?
One of the joys of brewing sake is that part of the process of feeding the yeast, you actually get these wonderful, delicious fruity notes. Banana, citrus, it's very pleasant. This is the press room where we actually take the fermented sake with the rice sediment. We're going to put it through this filter. It's going to remove the sediment, and we're going to get clear sake in that little tank.
And what comes out of here? There's like
clear Nama sake, fresh squeezed, very tasty.
But what is it filtering out?
Well, what you saw in the tank up there, it looks just this big white cake. It's a lot of porridge, so that'll get pumped in through these little screens here, and this will catch all that rice solid, and it'll go through. It'll take about a day, roughly, to go through here.
A little bit longer.
And each time it goes through, it catches more of those solids. So it kind of creates its own filter cake on these pads, leaving nice, clean sake, clear and ready to drink. So Nama sake, which we can taste later.
Yum. All right, let's taste some sake.
You ready?
I am.
Okay, well, we've got a tank here. This is Momokawa Pearl. It's probably maybe a month or so old. It's aging, and what we're gonna do is it's settled out, so Greg's gonna be able to dip some right off the top. We taste some really fresh sake. How's that sound? You ready? Got that. So you see, it's all, you can tell that it's nigori. It's in there. We get some of the clear.
I can tell.
You can tell?
Nigori. What's the temperature, Greg?
It's 50 degrees.
50 degrees sake. All right. Okay.
Let's pour a little
Can
here.
I do the honors?
You can do the honors. We'll pour a little for Greg. Yeah.
Here, let's pour mine.
Pour yours. Go ahead and take it to the top. There you go. Just a splash in there.
And there you go.
Well, that's all right for now.
All right.
Big
Kanpai.
kanpai.
Kanpai. All right, Dewey. Very last step.
Last stop.
Fill it, bottle it, label it.
Right, and that's what we're about done here. Is going to go through the labeler, and we've got bottles ready to label and box them up, ship them out. And then we've got, you know, it's the blue glass. This, we've been using the blue glass for a long time because it helps protect the sake. It keeps the light out of it, helps it stay better on the shelf or in your house a lot longer.
And where are these going to be shipped out to?
These are going to go all over the country. We're in all 50 states, Canada, Mexico, a little bit to Europe. Some of these will end up in our tasting room where we can maybe go open a few and try different styles.
Definitely want to see the tasting room.
All right, shall we head over there?
Let's go. I'll bring this bottle.
Okay, you got your own.
Tony, this is my favorite part of the whole tasting room. You guys actually have sake on draft.
Yes, we do. This is our draft Nama, raw, unpasteurized, probably the freshest sake you'll ever enjoy.
Don't go away. Merge will be right back.
Didn't catch the last episode of Merge? Check it out at pdxmerge.com.
Merge, brought to you by
Sloy Dahl & Holst, a registered investment advisory firm. Visit their website at sdh-inc.com.
And now back to Merge with Kelsey Beer.
Did you know? Hey, did you know? Did you know? Hey, did you know? Well, Kelsey's about to tell you so. Hey, Portland, did you know?
Did you know that Portland's International Rose Test Garden has over 7,000 different rose plants and approximately 550 varieties? New roses are continually sent to the garden from different parts of the world to be tested. It is the oldest public rose test garden in the United States. One of my favorite parts is the Queen's Walk. It is a brick walkway in the garden that has bronze stars for every Rose Festival queen since 1907. During World War I, the garden was used as a safe haven for European hybrid roses. These roses were shipped around the world to keep from being destroyed from the bombings in Europe. Portland is the only city in North America that can issue an award to a rose, anywhere in the world. I guess that's why we're called the City of Roses. That's cool.
Kelsey, we're in the tasting room, and I'm going to turn you over here to Tony. Tony is our guy that's going to take care of everything. He knows everything you need to know about sake. He can teach you about how it's made. He can teach you how to drink it, what to drink it with. And if you've got hard questions, which I encourage you to do, ask him.
You're the master.
It's just fool's gold.
Stump the Tony. All right, well, enjoy. I'm going to go get a glass of sake and relax.
All right, sounds good.
Right.
Thanks, Dewey.
See you, Joe.
All right, Tony, what do you got here? Why do people come to this tasting room?
Well, Kelsey, unlike regular wine tasting rooms, we actually have more options than the most. We have over 12 different styles of sake that we produce. And right here, our menu here, it kind of takes you through that little gambit. Your first choice is the sake shock. It's actually a food pairing with sake. Most people think sushi sake at all times, but we want to break out the mold essentially. I've got some blue cheese, we've got chocolate, we've got garlic sriracha peas, even chips and salsa right now. So that's kind of what makes it unique.
All right, well, I'm ready to pair it with some food and try some sake.
Excellent, we can do that. Here's a glass for you there. And as you might notice, it's a wine glass, and a lot of people are expecting a small little Japanese cup, and you know, I'm not Japanese either, so you're not going to find...
You have to be Japanese to use the cup?
Not necessarily, it's just the norms people, you know, expect. We had a sake buri, so there's going to be little Japanese people running around and small sake cups and enjoying in that same sort of fashion. So now we want to break the mold, essentially.
So traditionally, Japanese people drink out of the small sake cups, but you encourage out of a wine glass?
The wine glass, again, we want to allow you to get the aroma, the flavor profiles. A small little sake cup that is very traditional, but it doesn't allow for the swirling, the smelling. Unfortunately, I think in the States, everyone sees a small cup, it turns into a shot. You know, so I want you to take a couple of sips. I want you to swirl. The wine glass slows you down because we've all, once upon a time, have tasted wine. You swirl it, you don't know why you may be swirling it, you're going to sniff it. So putting the sake in that sort of vessel is going to allow with that whole educational process of, okay, I'm enjoying sake in a different fashion here.
Well, I'm ready to try some chilled sake.
Excellent. So our first pairing is actually going to be the pearl sake, which is our nigori style. Nigori is kind of one of your most traditional ways to enjoy sake. It still has the rice sediment left over, which actually settles to the bottom of the bottle. So you have to shake it up before you enjoy it. And you're going to see it's going to have this creamy, cloudy sort of appearance to it. And it does remind you of milk, but it's milk with a little twist, definitely. And today we're going to pair it with our dark chocolate. So again, that's another treat, sake chocolate.
Okay, is it the sake or chocolate first?
You actually try the sake first because you want to see what the sake tastes like. Definitely smooth, creamy, and almost beginner sake because it's so soft. Sometimes it's maybe a little bit sweeter naturally because of the residual rice that's left over. And then go ahead and have a bite of chocolate. And while you're still tasting the chocolate's still in your mouth, take another quick sip so you can see how the two marry together or enhance each other. It's a new twist of milk and cookies.
Tony, what other kind of events do you guys have here besides just coming in on an average day and doing a tasting?
Well, we do daily tours at 1, 2, and 3 o'clock, and you'll get to walk through the entire process from bottling, the milling of the rice, the fermentation rooms, etc.
Tony, this is my favorite part of the whole tasting room. You guys actually have sake on draft.
Yes, we do. This is our draft Nama, raw, unpasteurized, probably the freshest sake you'll ever enjoy. You also can take it home. Actually, we do have the reusable flip-top bottles that you come, get your sake bottle filled, come back in for your refill as well.
Okay, Tony, what is a tasting room teaser?
So right here, we've got the sparkling plum, which is actually not sold retail. It's only here in the tasting room. You can only buy it by the glass. And it's our Moonstone plum sake that we carbonated from the
Trade ya.
Yes, indeed.
That looks fantastic. Sparkly. All right, guys, thank you so much for having me here at SakeOne. I can't wait to come back and try some more sake.
Kanpai!
Yummy. Sakatini is the word of the day.
Is that your intro?
Sparkly. Well, you could talk about like how you get sparkles into it. I'm kidding. Love unicorns. Everyone kind of go like this. And then just you look at the camera like seductively. Okay, we won't do that. Okay.
It's your thing.
Greg's like, I'll do it. Yummy. Here, let's pour mine.
Pour yours. Go ahead and take it to the top. There you go. Just a splash.
And there you go. I'm gonna go finish this. I'll see you guys later. Thanks.
All right. See you later.
Finally.
Finally.